Every single week, someone walks into a grocery store, loads up their cart with canned beans and canned soup, drives home feeling prepared, and then stacks those cans in a closet. They think they've done something smart. They think they're ready. They're not. And today, I'm going to show you exactly why canned food prepping is one of the most common and most dangerous mistakes people make when building an emergency supply. More importantly, I'm going to show you what to do instead, because when the moment actually comes, you need food that won't let you down. Let's start with the core problem nobody talks about. The weight problem. Canned food is heavy. Brutally heavy. A single can of beans weighs around a pound. Now multiply that by the number of meals you need for one person for 1 week. You're looking at 21 cans minimum, and that's being generous. For a family of 4, for 1 month, you're hauling hundreds of pounds of steel-encased food. If you ever need to leave, whether it's a flood, a wildfire, a grid failure, you cannot take that with you. You are essentially prepping food you can only eat if you stay exactly where you are. And staying put is not always an option. Think about the people who had to evacuate during Hurricane Katrina, the California wildfires, or the Texas grid collapse. Many of them had hours, sometimes minutes, to grab what they could and go. Nobody was loading a dolly with 200 pounds of canned goods into their car while smoke filled the sky. Mobility is survival. Weight is a liability. And yet the prepping community has normalized dragging itself down with the heaviest possible food storage strategy imaginable. The nutrition problem. Here's what really disturbs me. Most canned food is nutritionally hollow. Yes, the calories are there. But the moment food gets sealed into a can, it goes through a high-heat sterilization process that destroys a massive percentage of heat-sensitive vitamins, particularly vitamin C, vitamin B1, and folate. You are eating calories wrapped in the ghost of nutrition. After 6 months of relying on canned food in a crisis, your body will begin showing signs of deficiency, and in a real emergency, there is no pharmacy down the road. This matters more than most people realize. When your body is under physical and psychological stress, exactly the conditions of an emergency, your nutritional demands actually increase. Your immune system needs more. Your nervous system needs more. Your muscles need more. If you are running on empty calories and depleted vitamins, your decision-making deteriorates, your energy crashes, and your resilience collapses at precisely the moment you need it most. The sodium catastrophe. Now open any can of soup, stew, or vegetables and read the sodium label. A single can of chicken noodle soup can carry over 1,700 milligrams of sodium. That's nearly an entire day's recommended limit in one sitting. In a survival scenario, when stress is already spiking blood pressure, when physical activity increases, when water may be limited, eating this much sodium is not just unhealthy. It becomes dangerous. Your kidneys are working overtime. Dehydration gets worse. And if anyone in your household has hypertension, heart disease, or kidney issues, you are feeding them food that actively works against their survival. And yet this is what millions of people are stacking in their basements. The BPA problem nobody warned you about. Most tin cans are lined with an epoxy coating that can contain bisphenol A, BPA. This chemical is a known endocrine disruptor. Studies have linked it to hormonal imbalances, reproductive problems, and increased risk of certain cancers. When those cans are stored in a warm garage or basement and temperatures fluctuate, BPA leaching into the food accelerates. So not only are you eating nutritionally depleted food, you are eating food that has been sitting in a chemical bath for months or years. Some manufacturers have shifted to BPA-free linings, but those alternative liners often contain related compounds with their own emerging health concerns. The entire canned food model is built on compromises most people never think to question. So what should you do instead? Option 1. Freeze-dried food done right. Freeze-drying removes nearly all moisture from food while preserving its nutritional structure. Unlike canning, there is no high-heat process destroying vitamins. A properly freeze-dried strawberry still contains most of its vitamin C. A freeze-dried chicken still holds its protein profile intact. Shelf life runs 25 to 30 years in sealed mylar pouches. Weight is dramatically reduced, sometimes by 90%. You can carry a week's worth of freeze-dried meals in a single backpack. In an evacuation scenario, that matters enormously. The only real drawback is cost. Quality freeze-dried food is more expensive upfront. But when you calculate cost per calorie over a 25-year shelf life, the math starts to look very different. You are buying insurance, not groceries. Option 2. Dehydrated whole foods. Dehydrated rice, lentils, oats, dried beans, and whole grains are the backbone of a serious prepper pantry. These are simple, dense, and extraordinarily shelf-stable when stored correctly. A 5-gallon bucket of white rice sealed with oxygen absorbers will last 25 to 30 years. A bucket of dried lentils will outlive your mortgage. The key is proper storage, oxygen absorbers inside Mylar bags, sealed inside food-grade buckets, kept in a cool, dark space. No BPA. No mystery chemicals. No sodium bombs. These foods are also familiar. Your family already eats rice and beans. There is no shock to the palate, no adjustment period, no children refusing to eat something that smells strange. In a crisis, comfort matters. Familiar food matters more than people expect. Option 3. Sprouting seeds. This is the move almost nobody talks about. Sprouting seeds, alfalfa, broccoli, mung bean, radish, are shelf-stable for years. But the moment you add water, they produce fresh, living food in 3 to 5 days. We're talking genuine nutrition, live enzymes, vitamins, minerals. In a long-term emergency, this could be the difference between surviving and thriving. A 1-pound bag of mung beans produces enough sprouts to feed a family for days, costs almost nothing, and takes up the space of a paperback book. Sprouts also solve a problem that most preppers completely ignore: the psychological toll of eating brown, gray, and beige food for weeks on end. Fresh green sprouts on your plate signal life. They signal abundance. That psychological signal matters when everything around you is uncertain. What a real pantry looks like. A properly built emergency pantry has layers. The foundation is long-term dehydrated staples, grains, legumes, oats. The middle layer is freeze-dried proteins and vegetables. The top layer is practical everyday food that you rotate through: pasta, nut butters, honey, coconut oil, apple cider vinegar, shelf-stable olive oil. Honey, famously, never expires. It has been found edible in Egyptian tombs. Coconut oil, stored properly, is shelf-stable for 2 or more years. These are not exotic choices. These are intelligent ones. Canned food, if used at all, should be the smallest and least relied upon layer. It should not be the strategy. It should not even be the backup strategy. Think of cans as a short-term bridge, not a foundation. The rotation rule. Whatever you store, you must rotate. First in, first out. Every 6 months, move newer stock to the back and bring older stock forward. Eat from your pantry regularly. This keeps food fresh, keeps your family familiar with emergency meals before a crisis hits, and prevents the heartbreaking scenario of discovering your supplies are expired when you actually need them. Your emergency pantry should not be a museum. It should be a living system that your household actually uses and replenishes continuously. Start this weekend. You do not need to overhaul everything at once. This weekend, buy a 25-pound bag of white rice, a package of Mylar bags, and a pack of oxygen absorbers. That single step gives you a food source that will outlive your vehicle, your appliances, and possibly your grandchildren. Next weekend, add dried lentils. Then oats. Then sprouting seeds. Then a small supply of freeze-dried protein. Build the pantry the way you build any serious foundation, one layer at a time, with intention and quality. Every step you take moves you further from vulnerability and closer to genuine self-reliance. Because when the moment comes, whether it's a supply chain disruption, a natural disaster, a power grid failure, or something nobody predicted, you will not be wishing you had more cans of soup in a closet. You'll be grateful you did it right.